Remember the last time you waited for a text, not the casual kind. The kind that comes after you've said something real. You've sent a piece of yourself out into the digital silence. A vulnerable thought, a meaningful question, a joke that was actually a test. And then, you wait. Your phone is just a dark screen. You set it down, you pick it up. You check for the tiny dots that mean someone is writing back. Nothing. In that waiting, something happens to you. Your mind, which was calm before, starts to work. It replays what you said. It wonders if it was too much. It imagines the other person reading it, their face unreadable. It constructs stories. They're busy. They're annoyed. They're showing someone else and laughing. The room you're in fades. The actual world becomes background static. All of your focus, your emotional energy, is funneled into that silence, into that absence of a response. And when the reply finally comes, maybe just a ha, or yeah, sorry, busy, the relief is palpable. But also, a kind of debt is created. They didn't just answer you, they held your attention hostage for an hour. They made you feel, in your own quiet way, a little desperate. Without asking a single question, they learned how much you care. Without making a single demand, they gained a fraction of power over your emotional state. You've just been given a masterclass in the first principle. And you were the only one in the room who felt the lesson. Most people walk away from a moment like that and just feel foolish. Or annoyed. They shake it off. They don't like the feeling of being on the hook, so they pretend the hook isn't there. But you're different. You felt the hook. And instead of pulling away, you got curious about its shape. You wondered, how did that work? Why did my own mind turn against me like that? You're the kind of person who looks at a magic trick and doesn't just applaud. You want to see the mirrors. You understand that the most powerful forces are often the quietest. They don't shout. They pull. What you're about to hear is for those who are willing to look at the mirrors. This isn't a loud crowd. It's a quiet room. A series of realizations, not a pep talk. If you want to stay in this room, if you want to see the next mirror, you'll know what to do. You might leave a thought in the comments, not because you need to be seen, but because you recognize a pattern. It's a way of saying, I see it, too. That's how this kind of knowledge passes. In whispers, between people who know the value of silence. Welcome to day 1. This is the start of something, but it's not a course. Think of it as a month-long observation, a slow, careful look at the hidden grammar of human connection. We're not here to talk about love or dating. We're here to talk about gravity. Why do some people pull all the attention in a room without raising their voice? Why do some relationships feel uneven from the very first conversation? Why does an unanswered message sometimes hold more weight than 1,000 replied ones? This is the study of that gravity. It's about the architecture of focus. The silent scaffolding beneath what we call charisma, or charm, or influence. For the next 30 days, I'm not going to teach you a thing. I'm going to show you what you already know, but haven't quite named. You'll recognize these scenes. You've lived them. You've felt the pull. My job is just to point and say, look, see how that works. By the end, you won't have a list of pickup lines. You'll have a new set of eyes. And the world will look different. Let's take it out of your phone. Let's put it in a room. Imagine a work meeting. Sarah is leading it. She's prepared, she's talking, she's making good points. But her eyes keep flicking to James. James isn't her boss. He's just a colleague. He's sitting back, listening. He's not nodding enthusiastically. He's just taking it in. Every time Sarah makes a point, she unconsciously checks his face for a reaction. She's directing her energy toward him. Why? Because James is the quiet one. He hasn't given his approval yet. The people who are nodding, who are agreeing, their validation is given. It's spent. James's validation is still in his pocket. He owns it. And so, without meaning to, Sarah is working for it. She's seducing him into approval, simply because he's withholding it. Now watch James. He finally speaks. He doesn't talk over her. He waits for a natural pause. He says one thing, one considered thing, and then he stops. The room leans in. He said less than everyone else, but his words land with more weight because of the silence he built around them. He controlled the focus not by grabbing it, but by being the last one to gently accept it. You see this everywhere, once you know how to look. You see it with the friend who is always slightly hard to reach. They're not rude, they're just busy, living a life that seems full and fascinating. You feel a little thrill when they do reply, when they do say yes to coffee. Their attention feels like a gift, because it's scarce. They've never said they're better than you. They've just been living in a way that makes you wonder if you're interesting enough for them. You see it in the way a person can end an argument by going quiet. Their partner is yelling, making points, demanding engagement, and they just stop. They look out the window. The yelling continues, but now it sounds hollow, desperate, bouncing off a wall of calm. The person yelling is now performing for an audience of one who has left the theater. Who has the power now? The one who stops applying the conflict. This is the core of it. It's not about being mysterious in a cartoonish way. It's about understanding that your attention, your reaction, your presence, these are currencies. Most people spend them wildly, frantically, trying to buy connection. They give away their power in handfuls, hoping someone will give it back. The principle is about becoming a careful banker. It's about understanding that a measured silence can be worth more than a torrent of words, that a delayed reply can build more anticipation than an immediate one, that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to simply be still and let the other person come to you. So what does this feel like? From the inside, it feels like holding your breath. Someone insults you lightly. A dig. The old you would snap back. The old you would need to prove they're wrong, to defend the border of your ego. But you've seen the principle now. You know that reacting is just giving them what they want, engagement. You know that your anger is a prize to them. So you swallow the hot words. You feel them burn your throat on the way down. You look at the person, and you just pause. You let the insult hang in the air between you. You don't flinch. You don't smile. You just let it exist, awkward and naked, until they start to feel uncomfortable with their own creation. That moment is heavy. It's work. It's emotional labor. The power isn't in feeling nothing. It's in feeling the sting and choosing not to show it. It's power that costs you something. It's real. Or you're at a party. You feel the pressure to be on, to tell your stories, to be funny, to prove your worth. But you decide to experiment. You stand a little apart. You listen more than you talk. You ask one good question, and then you listen to the answer. Really listen. You don't jump in with your own story. People start to orbit you. They come to fill your quiet. They perform for you. And you realize, with a strange loneliness, that you are no longer quite a person to them. You are a mirror. You are a blank screen. They are showing you who they want to be seen as. Your quiet has become a vacuum, and they are rushing in to fill it with their own self-image. This isn't about feeling superior. It's about feeling the weight of the dynamic. You are managing a force, the force of focused attention, and it's a tiring thing to hold. It's a quiet, sobering kind of control. There's no one to high-five. You just stand there, holding the silence, watching the world bend slightly around it. Why does our minds work this way? Why does silence pull at us more than noise? It's because our brains are story-making machines. Gaps in the story make us nervous. We have to fill them. When someone is perfectly clear, telling you everything they think and feel, the story is written. There's no mystery. Your brain can relax. It files them away. Friendly, open, eager. But when someone is restrained, when there are gaps in their emotional resume, your brain gets itchy. It starts to write the story for them. Are they bored? Are they deep? Are they judging me? You are literally doing the work of building their character in your own mind. And when you build a character, you invest in them. You care what happens to them. It goes deeper. We are all, on some level, insecure. We all want to be effective. We want our words to land, our jokes to hit, our presence to matter. When you meet someone who doesn't immediately give you that feedback, who doesn't laugh right away, who doesn't share back, it creates a tiny crack in your confidence. Your ego, that fragile thing, rushes to patch the crack. Make them laugh, make them agree, get a reaction. You mistake their withheld validation for a challenge. You start to pursue it, not because they're so wonderful, but because your own ego needs the win. They haven't done anything. They've just not done the things everyone else does. They've broken the predictable pattern of social trade. And in that break, you tumble in. They control the climate. You just grow the vines. All your own energy, your own need for connection, gets directed towards someone who is simply standing still. It's a magic trick, where you are both the audience and the one who makes the illusion work. So that's the first crack in the lens. This isn't happy knowledge. It's not empowering in a cheerful way. It's the kind of knowledge that sits in your stomach like a stone. You'll walk into your next conversation and you'll feel the tug. You'll see yourself starting to perform for the quiet person in the corner, and you'll stop. You'll get a text and feel the urge to reply instantly to show you're good, you're eager, you're safe, and you'll pause. You'll feel the old anxiety of waiting for a reply, and now you'll also see the machinery behind it. The world gets quieter and more clear, and a little bit colder. This was day one. We just looked at the power of what you don't do, the power of absence. Tomorrow, we go a step further. We look at how to listen, not to words, but to fears. How to hear what someone is really asking for when they're talking about their job, their ex, their dreams. It's about seeing the hidden outline of their insecurity and understanding how that shape determines everything they're pulled toward. The quiet gets deeper, and you start to hear the things that aren't said at all. This path is walked alone, but you recognize others on it by the look in their eyes. They're the ones who watch the spaces between things. If you want to keep walking, if you want to see what's in the next clearing, then you know how to signal. You don't need to shout. A thought left behind is enough. A comment that says, "I saw it too." It's how we know we're not just imagining the quiet. I'll be here tomorrow. The next layer is waiting.